following as Zerg player into a ZvP, and we just got confirmation, like, the next match, we are confirmed at least one Protoss player. But whether it's going to be a PvP or a ZvP is to be determined, as we load into Berlingrad once again for game number 1 here, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, we have a Teal Protoss player coming out from the land of... He told us where he was from, but I don't remember now.
America.
It wasn't Argentina. America! There we go, the Argentina of NA. He is, of course, going to be representing Root Gaming. We have... Acheron? Archon.
That is not Archon. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Indian Zerg player representing Alpha X. It is Demi.
Now, is it wrong of me, Light, that after all this time, I still think of Root Gaming as a primarily Latin American team?
Yes. It was never just a Latin American team, god damn it.
Katz was in it!
Yeah, but he was based in America. He was based in San Francisco. God.
Yeah. Oh, look, that's basically Latin America.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Aye. But yeah, there was a period.
I'm pretty sure Latin America extends from like Vancouver down to Antarctica.
Mate, if anything, Root Gaming was an Australian team, okay? I'm pretty sure at any moment in time they've had more Australians than Latin Americans on their team, okay? Just say.
I think there might have been one point in like 2015 where they were competing.
Yeah.
See if they have more OCE or Latin American players.
Like they had Petraeus, they had Igus, they had Fenner, they had Mighty Kiwi, like they had oh god.
Haha.
Yeah.
But they also had Kelleser.
They did. They had one. Shaking my head.
The Cats had already left at that point, or at least as a player.
Oh god. But yeah, Root Gaming, it's great to see their rebranding has worked. If you remember, it was almost...
Rebranding as the Latin American team.
Shaking my head. Yeah, like 6 months ago, they rebranded as becoming like a grassroots team dedicated to kind of grow the Masters player base. They like opened their team up to Masters players, and they focused on having coaches and improving their players to get into GM and, you know, excel, right? And that's been kind of working. I'm pretty sure Acheron and Aztecs, they're kind of like byproducts of that.
Ooh. Yes, Acheron immediately takes out a Overlord just like that. And that is something a little bit missing, I suppose, from competitive StarCraft nowadays. A little bit of that teams that sort of, whatchamacallit, very specifically, yeah, we have a lot of teams that are out there to foster up-and-coming talent. I mean, our very own team, Cranky Ducklings, Team Roddy, you know, the teams that do that. But specifically to take players who are lower than GM or lower than Masters 1 or, you know, the typical MMR you expect, but they have potential, and to try to coach them and build them up to what they can be, that is a little bit rare nowadays.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember back in the very, very, very early days of StarCraft 2 in Korea, they would even get diamond players in if they thought they had potential.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how, you know, teams have changed over time and how Root has gone back to its roots in a way.
I get it.
They said that themselves. It's really cool. It's really cool. But speaking about the game a little bit, Acheron, we do see that he is going for a bit of a DT drop. Dark Shrine is about to finish up. War Prism is already moving out across the map. Quickly checking the vision of Demi. Demi, his Overlord was sniped earlier, so he did not find his way into the main base.
No, but he did get a couple of eyes on that Warp Prism. Right now, a couple of Spore Crawlers are being thrown up. Roachborn not done quite yet, though.
Oh boy, exactly. Meanwhile, the Lings are huddled underneath that War Prism. Keeping an eye on whatever gets morphed in. Here we go. We do have some DTs on the way. The Spore, it looks like it should just finish up in time. Up!
I think he needs to body block it a little bit, and immediately he sends the links to do that. That Spore Crawler will survive, and it will provide all the vision that Demi needs for now. Even zones out the Warp Prism a little bit.
Exactly, but you know what? The DTs, their base DPS isn't that bad either. They kill so many lings in the process. Looking at the units lost, 24 lings just died.
That is pretty massive right now, and if Demi continues to bleed out lings, it will have a knock-on effect in the rest of this game, but DTs aren't that cheap either, so Acheron does need to get a little bit more done with them.
Demi just no, he barely didn't see it. That was the opportunity because Acheron, he was morphing all of his DTs into Archons. He didn't have anything to protect them. They were vulnerable, but he was not punished for that. The Archons are dipping on in.
Well, I worry now that this that this splash damage may be too much, but Demi is making the best work of his roaches and queens as possible. He's really doing such a good job of zoning out this army. More DTs are on the way right now, along with a couple of charge lots, and I'm hoping we don't see a repeat of Pride of Altaris for Demi here.
Mate, Acheron is not stopping with this. Typically, the Archons would back off, you'd take a third base, and you would like snipe Overlords and clear creep. Meanwhile, Demi does have eyes on both third base locations. He should know not to drone up too much. I want to say he should stop here because he already has a decent amount, but here we go. Charge finishes up just in time for this push.
But he is fighting in a bit of an open position right now. The kiting is decent so far for Demi, but for Archons, mate, they have a ton of splash damage. GG is called, and Acheron, AC Heron, takes game number 1.
GG. Oh my god, what a strong style there. Again, it's typical for a Protoss player to morph their first 4 DTs into 2 Archons and just harass and go around the map and you know, macro from there and kind of adapt from there. But no, from the very beginning, he already had charge on the way. He was planning to just go all in from there.
Yeah, I was getting really worried for him initially. After his initial couple of DTs were deflected, I thought, okay, Demi, he's got such a stable economy now. Acheron, you gotta transition from here, but apparently not. I do have to wonder if that game would have ended up differently if Demi had caught those Archons mid-morph. I mean, honestly, I think that was the one chance that Demi had to really take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not just catching them mid-morph, but also recognizing that more Archons were on the way. That would have been a massive tell for him to, again, just keep pumping out units, maybe throw down some spine crawlers, stop focusing so much on his economy, because even towards the end there, he was pumping out a couple of drones. He was taking more gases. Like, he was focused a lot more on macro, less so on what was in front of him. Partly because he didn't really see.
Yeah. As we all know, seeing is important. Something about these root Protoss players, man. Both him and Aztecs, they like to have variations of this build, it seems.
Exactly. You know, different forms of charge lins. They're pretty good, man. I know. I die to them all the time on the ladder, mate. It's horrifying. Oh my god, and we can see even here at some of the highest levels of play, like even here it works. So yeah, once again, Acheron taking the game off of Demi, just like his teammate.
Yeah, let's see if you can take that second one. Or if Demi is gonna something. Whatchamacallit? What's the term for this?
Rethink? Rework?
Tighten up. Rethink.
Recalibrate?
Rework. Recalibrate.
Reassess?
Rewin.
Rewhite?
Rewhite.
Switch to Protoss? Oh god. Yeah, hopefully he's able to calm down after that game. It's a little bit rough, right? He's up against the wall right now. Demi has to win 2 games in a row if he wants to advance on. The other thing that we have to bear in mind, I don't know if Acheron was watching the last series. I believe he was waiting for the winner of Demi versus of Aztecs. So maybe he saw the games and maybe he was able to learn from that as well.
Potentially, I think he did finish up his series a little bit quicker than we did here. And speaking of finishing up, yep, Acheron is back. He did request a little bit of a break. But yeah, now he's back, and we're all ready to go. Game number 2.
Oh yeah.
Just best of 3.
Here we go. I just hope that here in game 2, Acheron doesn't go double Stargate Void Ray. Hope he does not make that mistake against Demi.
See, that's where we differ.
You're like, I hope he does.
I hope he does, and I hope he gets Flux Veins early and just zooms around, sniping bases.
Shaking my head. We'll see, mate. We'll see.
Indeed, we shall. As we continue our series now on Hardwire LE. We're in the bottom left-hand corner, spotting all the way in the best pen. Bottom left-hand corner. So I'm amalgamated into best hand corner.
It's late. It's late.
Yeah, it's late-ish. Coming down from the land of America, the North America. Some people wouldn't consider it to be Latin America, but I would. And if you're smart, you would as well. Representing Root Gaming, we have Acheron?
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Indian Zerg player, the last remaining Zerg player in the entire tournament, representing Alpha X. It is Demi.
Another cool cat coming down. Right behind the mineral line. That's honestly, that's really what secret to winning is.
Oh yeah, yeah. The cats, they add a little bit of extra APM. They kind of throw off Demi as well.
Especially if you're on Root Gaming, because then you get to have him watch over you.
God damn it.
Cats, if you're listening, when's the next Kitchen Nightmare stream?
When's the next Kitchen Nightmare stream, cats? Huh? God, look. It's admirable that you've been laddering recently, you know, you've been playing some Dota, some TFT, but the real content is them Kitchen Nightmares reactions, okay?
Yeah.
It's MH.
We need to hear about the soul of a lobster.
Oh god.
I'm disappointed that I lost that highlight now.
No. What do you mean? Was it can you just not find it? Was it deleted? Like, what happened?
Oh, I just can't find it, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't bookmark it or anything. I'm sure it exists still.
Yeah.
In his channel, I just can't be bothered to find it.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But yeah, massive shout out to Cats. If you're unaware, he is the owner of Root Gaming. Has been the owner for a very, very long time. Since its inception, he did found it. He's a founder. And yeah, he does put a lot of work into it. Of course, he has a lot of passion for StarCraft, and we'll see if that passion can flow through our Protoss player here, because once again, he does go for another Twilight Council.
Yeah. Unlike his teammate, he's a little bit averse to the Stargates, it would seem. Immediately following up that Twilight Council with a Robo facility once again. I'm getting a little bit of deja vu light. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Yeah, you know, like, what do you need to make a Dark Shrine? Well, Twilight Council, you know, we can see a War Prism on the way as well. We don't see an immediate upgrade on the Twilight Council either, which is a little bit suspect. But we'll see what Acheron has in store for us. I don't know if it's the wisest choice to do this build again. 2 games in a row.
Yeah. 2 games in a row and on a bit of a longer map like Hardwire. Especially since, you know, I know Aztecs was able to make it work on Pride of Altaris, but he was also utilizing that gold base to make sure he had more resources, right? On Hardwire, maybe in a bit of a Goldilocks position where you have neither a short rush distance nor a gold base.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So far, so good. Demi hasn't scouted this, and what I will say is that this doesn't have to be the same build as last game. Like, you can open up with DTs, go for a drop, and take a thread behind it. Like, you don't have to commit to a 2-base all-in. Obviously, Acheron did in Game 1, but again, he doesn't have to in Game 2.
Hint, hint, Acheron. Like, wants to see some macro games out of you.
Oh god, or maybe just a follow-up timing, right? Like, I don't know. I do think it's really risky if he does try to do the same thing against Demi. I do think that he's a good enough player to be able to defend it after he's seen it once. But we'll see.
Yeah, well, speaking of seeing already, this Warpism couldn't quite get into the main base like it wanted to, but these DTs are still gonna slip in without being hindered by the Zerglings. I believe the Spore Crawls are already up. Yep, they are.
Yeah, Spore's already up. We have plenty of Queens in position as well. We almost get a full surround on those DTs. DTs have to be so careful to reduce that surface area. And yeah, it looks like this time the DTs aren't going to deal too much damage at all. Oh god, the Warpism! Up!
Will just about make it out of here alive, and will be making it out of here with the DTs as well. Are we seeing those switch to Archons? And there we go. Third base is being thrown down here by Archon.
Oh, exactly. This time he did delay his charge. Charge is on the way, but much later compared to the previous game. He is not all in, he's expanding, and maybe he was listening to the stream earlier. Maybe he wants that raffle win because we have a robotic spay on the way.
Ah, there we go. You know what I heard, Light?
What did you hear, Yaku?
I heard that I'm not allowed to touch a raffle.
You heard correctly, my friend. Oh god, but what do you feel? Are you feeling Colossus or Disruptor?
I'm thinking Disruptors are probably a safer bet right now for Acheron, especially if he was watching the previous games of Demi versus Aztec. He knows that, you know, going for a bit of a timing attack isn't out of the ordinary here for Demi, and there we go. Acheron wants to be safe, and he wants to get that AoE damage early on.
Exactly, and this time Demi has also tightened up a little bit here. He does go in for a scout with his Overseer. He confirms that, hey, there is a Robotic Spay, and the Robotic Spay is not researching, which means there is no extended thermal lance, which means the likelihood of this being Colossus isn't very high.
That's math.
That is math?
But, yeah, something like that. Or deductive reasoning, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's why I'm not a pro.
Oh god, no, but you called it correctly, and yo, Demi can finally go into what he does best. He's going double Spire.
Try sending Purification Novas against Mutalisk is what I have to say right now to Acheron. Although, to be fair, he does have a decent number of Archons, so yeah, Demi still has to be pretty careful both on the ground and sky. Still, though, one little blind spot when it comes to the mineral lines here of Acheron, and Demi is going to be taking out drone after drone after drone. One of the Spires does get cancelled here, unfortunately, and that may be giving Acheron a bit of a false sense of security.
Yeah, I love it. I want to say this is intentional. So he goes for the double Spire. One of them gets scattered by the Haluk, so he's forced to cancel, but he already has another on the way. So, like, again, he's kind of psyching out Acheron a little bit, but at the same time, the Spire isn't done, and now is when Demi is most vulnerable.
Right in the middle of that transition, there's a lot of roaches on the ground, and sometimes all it takes is one good Purification Nova, which is, to be fair, is just about all Acheron really has right now. His Disruptors! Demi kites away, only loses a single roach, and now it's a little bit tough for Acheron to really deal with this Zerg army.
Yeah, exactly, and Acheron, he doesn't know he's on a bit of a timer. Meanwhile, at the same time, we do have a couple of DTs sneaking into the main base. They're going to be able to get the Queen, and they're forcing Demi to respond with his army.
Very nice bit of multi-prong harass coming out right now from Acheron. Another Purification Nova just finishes off, and it lands right in the heart of Demi's army. Massive chunk of the roaches get taken out along with most of the banelings.
Oh my god, exactly, and Acheron is not stopping, by the way. He has another Nova that's going to be going up. This one will not connect with the army, but he has a second Disruptor.
Oh, but they're both on cooldown! No! One of them came off a cooldown, but did get sniped before the Purification Nova could land. And Acheron, buddy, oh, feels bad, man. I think he overextended just a little bit too much. These are good Purification Nova connections, but he's lost his Archons. He has lost a Disruptor. He cannot keep staying. But in fairness, he doesn't need to. He has taken out 15 drones.
Yeah, he actually has the lead in workers right now as Demi does drone back up. Now we see the first wave of mutas on the way. I agree though, it looks like Acheron, he was pulling himself apart a little bit because I don't know if you noticed, despite having a decent amount of sentries here, we didn't really see any force fields. Like he was kind of pushing himself to the limit, trying to counterattack, trying to warp in Zealot run-bys, trying to land these Purification Novas. There was a lot going on, even for our Protoss player, and yeah, as a result, he couldn't really quite control everything like this. Oh god, even more biles connecting. But again, we still have those Novas. Up. Oh no!
Oh no, they get sniped. Almost. One of them will go down. The bile not quite able to connect yet. We're down to 1 disruptor right now for Acheron. We're down to 0 disruptors right now for Acheron.
Force field, papi, no! All the sentries go down as well. Demi has broken free. He's going for a counterattack. 4th base is on the way, and it is so vulnerable. There is no way for Acheron to keep this alive unless Demi turns around. Oh, just to catch more Archons.
Well, maybe a force fields. Oh, wait. Another fantastic Purification Nova, but is it too little too late at this point? As Demi is already knocking down this 4th with his roaches, going even further. Drones are going down to some of the DTs. And Demi is forced to resend a couple of mutas to deal with that. So it's decent. It's distracting Demi a little bit, but at the cost of that 4th base, Acheron needs to do a little bit more.
Exactly. You have to wonder, was this worth it? Maybe 25 drones just went down. Demi pulls back with his army, which I think is probably a good thing for Demi. Like, I know pushing into this turn would have been the wisest move, but Acheron is still in this. He is down in supply, don't get me wrong, and I don't think he's still really, like, internalized that mutas are coming. Oh god, he's not really ready for them. Uh-oh.
Not at all. We don't have any blink stalkers, we don't have any cannons, we don't have any shield batteries. We have a lot of Archons, but they are going to take quite some time to move from point A to point B.
Yeah, the mutas are diving into the main base. There is a shield battery with overcharge, but that is not going to be enough. The shield battery gets focused down immediately, and now Acheron, is he just going to be yeah, he's just forced all in.
Oh, see what he can accomplish with that. If you can get a couple of another really juicy Novas, he may have enough momentum to keep on going, but that's a pretty massive if at this point. Okay, 3 disruptors, not bad, and he has a healthy Archon count as well. All comes down to the Novas.
Yeah, exactly. These Novas are going to be so important. The first one goes off, it will connect with the Baileys. The second one does as well, and now we have a 3rd. Oh.
3rd, unfortunately, not quite able to get the same amount of damage, but the Archons are very much holding the line at the moment. Oh, that's a concave and a half of roaches from the side of Demi. One of the disruptors will go down already. Demi more than willing to meet this base trade because he knows he can win it. GG. Demi ties up that series sideways 1-1.
Oof, GG, well played. I was so impressed with the amount of damage that Acheron could get done with his DTs. That was insane, but as we saw, it just wasn't enough. He had some great Purification Novas, but needed a little bit more.
Definitely. Again, I have to wonder if a lot of that just ended up being Acheron just overextending a little bit there in the middle of the map, or I like the way you put it, pulling himself apart in a way, trying to focus too much on multitasking and hitting multiple positions on the map, where really if he could have gotten away with warping in a couple of Zealots or a couple of DTs in the main base, let that distract Demi a little bit, and then focus the rest of his attention on the main army.
Yeah.
And a couple of force fields out, maybe a Guardian Shield or 2.
And that could have been a game changer there, you know, if he had just a little bit more attention to spare at that with his main army at that frontal force. Alas, was not meant to be. Demi barely holds on and actually is able to get his signature move out. You know, he's able to flaunt his mutas, and now we have our ace match.
Indeed we do. Very nicely played so far from our Root Protoss players to be able to take at least one game off of Demi each. Who knows, maybe maybe Acheron will be able to go all the way.
Yeah, it's possible, mate. It is possible for him to make his kind of Sparkling Tuna Cup debut as well, run all the way to the semifinals. We'll see if he can do it. Meanwhile, speaking of semifinals, exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We do have our lower semis ready for us after this series.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a TVP, which was confirmed. It's going to be Keen versus Nightmare.
Oh yeah, despite Nazin taking down Spear 2-0, he couldn't pull it off against the other Korean Terran Titan. He was knocked out. Likewise, Beastlork also couldn't quite pull off that PvP against Nightmare.
Oh, this means, like...
What does that mean?
Instead of Demi wins... Oh wait, Quantel is still technically in this bracket. Okay, never mind.
Are we gonna have a three-way tie? It's possible.
Oh.
If they all get knocked out here in this round, yeah. For those wondering, Quantel, Demi, and Beastlork are all currently eligible for the highest placing Southeast Asian / Oceanic player. But again, one of them has to make it to the semis if they want to secure that.
Yeah, otherwise it's gonna be split 3 ways, and what can you really do with wait, how much? Wait, what would it be divided by 3? So I can't do math.
We don't divide it. We roll a PC.
Oh,
and one of them walks away with it.
Yeah.
We go full casino on them.
The rest of them walk away with a PC.
What?
Broken one. Anyway, we're gonna be concluding our best of 3 quarterfinals here on Blackburn LE. We're in the bottom right hand corner map, sweating all the way to the bottom right hand corner. We, of course, have our teal Protoss player coming out from the land of America. He is, of course, going to be representing Root Gaming RTG. We have Acheron.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Indian Zerg player himself, representing Alpha X, the last remaining Zerg in the entire tournament. Can he move on to the semi-finals? It is Demi.
Did he grab the gold? No, he didn't. That was just a third. That was just now natural. Okay.
Feels bad, man. He doesn't want to win the raffle.
This is why we need Chase.
Yeah. Oh god. So Demi, he's just forced to take the unnatural. No gold base yet for him, and unfortunately Acheron, he doesn't take from his teammate, he doesn't take from Aztecs, and he doesn't go for the gold as his natural.
Shaking my head.
See, we need to combine Aztecs and Acheron into like one ultimate Protoss being, you know?
Yes, Ron. I would like that just because it gives us a more pronounceable name.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. You're like, I could pronounce his name. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh god. That would be nice. You know, we could just message Acheron and be like, hey, how do you pronounce your name? But it's just never gonna happen.
Yeah, it's too much work.
It's too awkward because because this is not the first time we've asked him, and this is not the first time we've cast him. We've casted him, so like, we can't ask him again, right? That'd just be too weird, you know?
Well, I imagine you can, but yeah. It's just, he may be less inclined to answer each time.
Yeah, it's just gonna be that much more awkward, you know? And at some point, you know, a year from now, it's like, well, it's already been a year. I can't ask him now. It's been a year.
Literally.
No. We'll get it.
Yeah, one day. Maybe not someday soon, but one day. And speaking of one day, Acheron finally playing a bit more, not quite standard, but I guess economic would be how I put it. As he does grab a Void Ray first.
Yeah, for the first time this entire series, he's not going to be going for DTs, he's not going for a Twilight Council, so Acheron mixing things up a little bit here. We'll see if it's for better or for worse.
I feel like in general, Blackburn is a decent map for Void Race. There's plenty of dead air to maneuver. It's all right. Problem is, another unit that's really good on Blackburn is the Hydra. So.
True, you're not wrong, and the Void Ray does reveal itself. It does take down that Overlord and zoom across the map, but what's important is as soon as that Overlord died, Twilight Council and Robo were thrown down.
Huh.
Okay.
Once again, a little more the same, but slightly different.
Yeah. I mean, we can see a couple of different routes here. Meanwhile, as oh my god, we have a bit of a gateway explosion. 5 gateways get thrown down here for Acheron. He even pulls out of gas as well. So, as you said, I thought maybe we were gonna see a more standard transition into Blink Stalkers, but no, it's gonna be another all in.
So here's my question, Mike. If you're going charge all in, why not grab the why not grab the gold while you're at it?
True. See, Yaku should be a Protoss player. You should. You just know. Yeah. It's just more optimal.
I've met many people who, when I vent my Terran Salt to, say, you know, you should be a Protoss player.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it worked for Aztecs, you know. He took the gold and he went for a charge all in. Meanwhile, Demi still hasn't seen any of this. Again, all the probes have been pulled out of gas. We only have minerals being mined. And Acheron, how many gates does he have in total? We are gonna have 9 gateways at the same time. Ooh, Demi almost gets in with his lings,
but doesn't quite manage it yet. Meanwhile, Demi is still pretty vulnerable. He's in the middle of his mid-game transition. They're just finished. Here comes the warp in. Are the queens enough? No, it seems.
Oh, I thought that was going to be too late. I thought the queens were going to get on top of the war prison, but no, 9 zealots morph in. But is it even going to be enough? Because we have a decent amount of reinforcements coming out, but the links are all being cleaned up.
Yeah, it's a really good amount of surface area for them to utilize. The Void Ray as well, providing a little extra DPS and zoning potential in the back line. But it does go down, or not quite. Now it goes down, but here come the charging reinforcements.
Yeah, and Demi is forced to pull a couple of boys, but he can afford to lose workers. Workers do not matter right now. GG, well played, it's called. And Demi does it. He defends and he moves on to the semifinals.
Just like that, Demi has spared us from 2 things. 1, a PvP semifinals, and also 2, having to roll the dice to see who wins that that highest finishing C player, as Demi, going into the semifinals, has beaten out Quantel from Indonesia and Beastork from Hong Kong, where he will face Art in another ZvP. This time not a root player, though.
Yes. 3 players, unfortunately, have all been eliminated from this tournament. Feels bad, man. But also, they performed pretty well here against Demi. So, I hope they're not feeling too bad about their performances. GG, Acheron and Aztecs. GG.
Yeah, very well played. To go up against the Shark himself, you know, the Grand Platypus of them all, and be able to take a game off of him and look relatively stable and relatively steady for the other games. It's a pretty big accomplishment, and I'd hope that Aztecs and I'm still trying to decide how to pronounce it, but I hope Aztecs and Acheron will continue to grow like that. We'll continue to sign up for this as well, and who knows, DreamHack EU, maybe we'll see them in the group stage, even beyond.
Oh yeah.
Or NA in the case of Acheron.
It's definitely possible. It's still a long road ahead, but a road nonetheless that can be taken. So wish them the best of luck. Of course, hopefully we'll see them next week. And Demi can take a little bit of a break here, as can Art, as they did both just finish up their series. And now we can move on to some of the Koreans in this bracket.
Yeah, we surprisingly neglected them a little bit till now, but we are finally going to be casting a Korean player, not just 1 Korean player, but 2 Korean players in a TVP, our first Terran player as well.